Greetings, folks. If you're considering hiring an ISA for your team and are not sure whether to go in-house or hire virtually, check out this video. I'm going to go in depth on pros and cons of each option. Let's jump into it. A lot of folks are considering hiring an inside sales agent because they have an urgent need. They might have a lot of internet leads coming in, 50 to 100 new internet leads every single month at least, or they've got a database with hundreds or thousands of leads in it that they're not adequately following up with. The top teams in the nation convert their internet leads at a 5 to 7% rate. Why? Because they have their systems dialed in. They know what they're doing. They have a conversion system. And all of the top teams in the US that we work with have an ISA fulfilling that role. A lot of folks want to get the top of the conversion spectrum, and you need help to make it happen. An ISA can be part of that solution. Other teams are killing it with outbound prospecting. They're calling for sell-by owners, expireds, old expireds, circle prospecting, absentee owners, you name it, they're calling it and they're having success. But they have a challenge. The more successful they get, the more deals they get, the less time they have to make calls. An outbound cold calling ISA can be a solution for that as well. Can help leverage your time and help you get to the next level with your cold calling. Other folks have a massive database that they need to call. Sphere, friends and family, past clients. For some people, that's hundreds of people. For other teams, that's thousands of people. They need to catch up. A properly marketed database should give you 10% conversion every year. 10% of your database should be giving you a referral if that database is properly marketed to. An ISA can be a solution for that as well. Regardless of which boat you're in, an ISA can really help take your team to the next level. But there's a decision to make. Are you going to go and hire someone in-house to work with you, or are you going to hire a virtual ISA to work outside your area, outside the country? In this video, I'm going to go over the pros and cons of each. Let's get started with in-house ISA. An in-house ISA can be a great solution if you have candidates locally. You can actually search your own database to find referrals, people that might want to get into the industry, that want to get into real estate. It's a great entry-level position for the right person that wants to grind. However, there are some big challenges to in-house ISA. Number one, talent is getting hard to find. Anyone that's been hiring in the last 12, 24 months, no, there's a big crunch for talent in the US. It's very difficult to hire, train, and retain talented folks because there's a lot of folks hiring, right? So it's really challenging to do that. Typical inside sales agent salaries range from $15 to $20 on the low end to $25, $30 per hour on the high end in a lot of these markets. That's what the going rate is for talent that you need. On top of that, ISAs are typically going to get bonused at the closing table. They're going to get 5 to 10% of the commission of the deals they helped generate depending on your market. But don't take my word for it. Jump on the job search websites. Check out Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter, Monster.com, and see what people are offering for ISA talent in your area. Know your competition. Know what you're up against. It is a very competitive market for talent inside the US. And folks, I hired, trained, and managed ISAs in the US. I know what I'm talking about. But these challenges weren't even the biggest issue for me. They were not the biggest issue. My number one issue when I hired and trained an ISA was in-house, in my market in Seattle, was keeping them in the seat because it was seen as an entry-level position. They aspired to be a licensed agent. They aspired to be a loan officer. They aspired to get into business and get a bigger chunk of those commission checks. It's seen as an entry-level position that you need to get out of ASAP. And that was probably the biggest issue I faced hiring, managing, and retaining folks in-house in the US. Now, if you're considering hiring a virtual ISA, it comes with a different set of pros and cons. One of the biggest advantages of hiring virtually is you can get talent from virtually anywhere in the world, not just your region, not just your state, not just your country, but other countries as well. This comes with a bunch of huge advantages. Mainly, the US dollar goes a long way in other countries. Unexperienced, talented, cold calling, prospecting, or lead managing, lead converting, appointment setting, ISA, can come to your team outside the US for $5 or $6 an hour, right? And that is a big difference in their home countries, whether it's Mexico, Colombia, Philippines, India. This is actually a really good salary. You're getting the top of the talent. The top 10% of their call center industry can be hired for that amount and can work for you. A big advantage also comes on bonuses. Typically, the bonuses for virtual ISAs can be much lower. It is much more cost effective. Total cost of ownership of a virtual ISA versus an in-house ISA is just a fraction of that, right? For me, the biggest difference between virtual and in-house ISAs was with the virtual ISAs, I was getting people at the top of the talent pool where this was the best job they had ever had versus someone that was in-house that always saw it as an entry-level position. That difference in the talent pool was the biggest motivator for me to start hiring virtual ISAs and eventually build a company out of it, Power ISA. Of course, there's a trade-off. There's also some cons to virtual work, right? And there's a lot of them that we've experienced over the last 2 years of the pandemic. No, it is not the same connecting with someone virtually over Zoom, over video, than having them face-to-face in the office. It takes more time to train someone. It takes more time to get them up to speed. When you're face-to-face with someone, a lot of nuance and a lot of different details can just be picked up very easily. If you're not intentional about communicating with your virtual employees, whether there's an ISA or a virtual assistant or whatever, then you're gonna take longer to make it work. Another one of the biggest challenges when hiring outside the US for a role as important as ISA is a language barrier. In a lot of these countries, English is not the first language. Folks might have learned it in country, and there's always gonna be a certain type of accent. That's why you gotta be careful and make sure you hire folks that are native English speakers or are as close to native English speakers as possible. This is where Latin America has a huge advantage. There's a lot of folks in Mexico, in Central America, even some parts of South America, where they grew up in the US, right? They came to the US as children, they picked up the language, they picked up the lingo, they picked up the culture, and then they went back to their home countries and now want to work even virtually for folks in the US. It's a huge advantage and it is a great opportunity for them. That's it, folks. That is in-house versus virtual ISA. I really believe that the advantages of virtual hiring, virtual professionals is so large that anyone should really just give it a try first and see how it goes for them, because if it works, it can be an amazing way to scale up your business. If you're interested in hiring a full-time, experienced, native English-speaking ISA for your team and pay $5 to $6 an hour with no contracts, no monthly recurring fees, reach out to us because we can help you out at Power ISA. If you found this video useful, please crush that subscribe button, hit that like button. We release a new video every single week.